What's up, guys? Josh here, Momentum Productions. Today we're going to be doing a live stream on how to set up a time-lapse module. So yesterday I received a pan and tilt motor head from Varanus.eu. They're a European company based in Poland and they make film equipment. So they're sending me over a pan and tilt time-lapse module. Actually, they already did. I'm still awaiting the time-lapse slider module. So that should be hopefully coming in later in this week. But a lot of you've been asking me yesterday when I was doing another live stream on how I set up the pan and tilt motor head. So we're going to be going over that process today on how I was setting up that pan and tilt motor head. So first off, let's go ahead and flip the camera here. You're definitely going to need a tripod. My case here holds my time-lapse stuff. The two think tank photos hold my camera stuff. So this is going to be really fun. So let's start off by lifting up the tripod to a good height, and we can get started. So I'm gonna just grab this here. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna prop the camera here, and then we will get started. Sorry for the shakiness. I'm just mounting the Gorilla Pod on a chair right now. Okay, that should be good. I'm gonna point the camera down here so you guys see what's going on. So I am grabbing, you know what? I'm gonna flip the camera so I see what you guys see. Okay. Cool. That's good. All right. So tripod. All right, we're gonna lift it up. You need a strong tripod. No plastic tripods will work with this setup because it's so heavy. It's very heavy. All right, and then we're gonna loosen up these legs down here as well. Make it even higher. And because this is such a heavy system, I'm going to spread out the legs as wide as I can. Just like that. Boom. Okay. Now let's take the camera. Sorry about this, guys. And then we're going to put it right here. Okay. That looks good. All right. Tripod right here. We're gonna get started with unloading the case full of time-lapse stuff. All right. It's gonna be a long live stream, guys. Okay, here we go. And if you're wondering what case I'm using to store all this stuff, literally I can stand on it. It is the Nanuq 960 case. Right, this is one of my favorite cases. It's a hard plastic case, water resistant, waterproof, shockproof, anything proof basically. And it is so cool. All right, so what am I going to start with? I'm going to go ahead and remove the ball heads. So we have two big ball heads here, okay? These are our best friends, by the way. Without ball heads, nothing would be possible, to be honest. I'm gonna put those right here on the counter. Next, we have our computer, which is responsible for all the time-lapse calculations. So this is actually the module here. And take a good close-up at that. Really cool. It looks simple, but it's actually very complicated. So I'm still learning how to use it. Okay. We have our battery here. What battery is this? This is a lithium-ion battery. I believe Sony makes this battery. It's the MP-F960, and this is supposed to get you 70 hours of a time lapse. That's just this battery. So that's pretty awesome. Put that there. By the way, the computer can also be powered by alternate current, so you can actually plug it into a wall adapter as well. Pan and tilt motors, check that out. Okay. Also, I'll put that on the bar. These are fairly heavy. They're heavier than you think. So that's awesome. I like heavy things. Just tells me that they're resilient. Next, what else do we need here? This is an accessory arm. This is where we're gonna actually mount on. We're gonna actually mount this onto the tripod, and we're gonna add our time-lapse computer up here, just for convenience. So I like how they included that. So this thing itself is actually fairly heavy. It's all metal. All right. So I will. You know what, let me set it up over here where it's a lot less white. That way it's easier to see. Okay. Okay, so right here, yeah, way better. Okay, so since I don't have a quick release adapter for the top of the tripod, I mentioned this yesterday, I'm going to be using a ball head. Now these ball heads have a larger screw input than I need, so I'm going to use a step-down adapter. That way I'll be able to mount it on to this tripod. Alright, so I'm going to go look for that step-down adapter. Give me 1 second here. I'll find it right now. Okay. It's always good to have multiple step-down adapters because they're so easy to lose. I think I only have 2 right now. I need to go to the store and get some more. So here's our step-down adapter. Very tiny, but a lifesaver, basically. All right, so that's that. Put that there. I'm gonna remove the quick release plate on the tripod. I'm going to take the ball head and put in the step-down adapter into the ball head. And I think I'm going to grab my keys and use that as a screwdriver. Give me 1 second. Let me go find my keys. So a really good filmmaking tip, keys are your best friend because they can be used as screwdrivers. So you don't want to use the pointy side of the key, otherwise you're going to bend the key. You want to use the back side of the key where it's the thickest, and that way you won't bend the key. This is actually from an electric scooter I got when I was like 10 years old. This is like a lucky charm. So I use this key all the time. And I'm going to lock up the pan, right? That should be good. Then I'm going to mount the ball head onto the quick release adapter that goes onto the tripod. Again, you don't want to be doing this in an ideal situation because you are making the setup more heavy than it has to be, which is why I'm waiting for their quick release system to come in. When I have it, I won't be using a ball head. I will be using their quick release system. It's shorter, lighter, and better for this type of setup, I mean. But these ball heads are one of the biggest ball heads I've seen, which is great. Just using my key to tighten everything down here. Because this is such a heavy system and fairly tall of a system, you want this to be extraordinarily tight, but not to the point where you can't untighten it, right? Okay. Here we go. Ball head, quick release plate that goes onto the tripod. Okay, this goes onto the tripod, nice and easy. Boom. Awesome. We won't need the quick release plate, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. There's already a built-in quick release plate on the motor arm. So let's see why you don't want to come out here. There we go. So don't lose this, keep it somewhere safe. This setup is similar to other setups. Basically what I mean by that is that if you're going to get another system, it's going to be fairly similar to this. So this will actually help you out in creating a time-lapse setup. So let's grab our pan motor. Here's our pan motor. And as you can see, there's already a built-in quick release mount here. And luckily, because I don't have the quick release adapter, this will slide right into the ball head, which is why I am using the ball head. I'm going to unwind the cables here. Here's a close-up of the motor. Look at that. I just love looking at that. It's beautifully engineered, guys. Pretty big motor. It's such high quality that it's just hard to believe that something like this even exists. I'm a geek when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and slide it into the ball mount. It's gonna click, lock in place, and then I'm just gonna turn the ball mount around. Here we go. Lock it up. Bring it up close here so you guys see. All right, I'm gonna just leave the cable dangling somewhere, and then I'm going to grab my tilt motor. In an ideal situation, again, you will want another quick release adapter up here, but since I don't have one for this system, but actually I can use, no, that's for the camera. Yeah, so in an ideal situation, you want to use another quick release adapter up here, but because I don't have one, I'm just gonna simply screw it on. Not necessarily the best idea, because eventually over time it will loosen up if you put some force on it. So we're just gonna tighten it up like this. Easy peasy. I mean, this is not ideal, but if you have to do it to get it done, then do it. Tighten it up, just like that. Cool. You can unwind the, actually I'll keep the cables up here. Next, we want to install the computer. So here's a question we have. What time-lapse module? Okay, so the brand is Varanus, V-A-R-A-N-U-S. Here's the company right here. They even have their website on there. So the company name is Photon. Varanus is their, they have 3 different Varanus systems. Varanus is their lineup of time-lapse equipment. So that's really cool. Varanus.eu, that's where you can find them. I'm still awaiting on a slider they're sending me. It's a specific time-lapse slider, so hopefully that will be coming to me this week. I really want to start making these time-lapse videos for you guys. So this is the time-lapse module. So what's going to go into this module? This is going to power the whole system. This is going to control the whole system and even your camera. So I'm going to be using the Sony a7R II for this setup. The Sony Alpha cameras, a lot of people have a confusion about this. The Sony Alpha cameras allow you to do time-lapse, but only if you buy their software for it. However, with an intervalometer, you won't need the software. The intervalometer is actually better than the software and it's more accurate. And this has a built-in intervalometer inside, so it's going to take shots every few seconds automatically. You won't have to do anything. And the whole motor is going to move accordingly to the shots being taken. That way, in post, you'll crunch up all of those photos together, make it a, basically time lapses are stop motion animation. So you're gonna crunch all of those photos in together and create a motion time lapse, right? So it's all stop motion animation basically. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my accessory arm here. Here's my accessory arm. I'm gonna mount it as high as I can on my tripod. My tripod has thinner legs than I would like, so I put some thick napkins here to help me squeeze down onto the legs. I don't like owning, I used to have a Manfrotto tripod and it was just so big to carry around. So I got rid of it and now I have this fancier tripod, which gets the job done. Okay. So we're just gonna squeeze it up here. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but I'm gonna tighten up the accessory arm as tight as it will go. It's pretty darn tight. I'm actually gonna lift up the accessory arm a little bit so it'll be easier to attach the computer. Okay, good. All right. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take the computer module right here. I already mounted the quick release plate up here. I'm just going to slip it in right there. Cool, snaps in place. Oops, I put it in backwards. Oh no, I did it right. There we go, snaps right in. And I can tilt it like so. So that way I'll be able to look at everything. Next, I want to attach the battery. So the battery, looks like this, right here. Here's your battery. This is a Sony NP F960. This is rated to get me 8 hours of battery life on the motors and 70 hours of time-lapse life. Okay, and basically you just slip it onto this plate and you will be able to hook up the battery to the computer. Done. Next, we're going to take the battery mounting area and just screw it onto the computer right here. I mean, in an ideal situation, I'm going to find some rubberized feet that can help me out with this because this is sliding a lot. So I'm just going to keep it locked up there. Hopefully it will hold. I'm going to take the battery, put it in the mounting area of the battery. And I'm going to Velcro it, make sure it's nice and tight. That way it doesn't slip. And I'll do close-ups once this is all set up. There we go. I'm going to take this cable and plug it into the AC power jack, which is, where is it? Right there. I actually want to flip the battery around. That way I don't stretch out any of the cables. Boom. Cool. So let me show you what that looks like. So there's the battery mounting area there, screwed on to the computer module. We have the pan motor and tilt motor. Okay, next we're going to be mounting the camera, and this part's pretty fun. All right, flip the camera around again. I'm going to go reach for my camera. I need to grab my own quick release plate because I'll be mounting it up here. Wow, it's so sturdy. Okay, let's grab my camera. Sorry, I'm off camera for a little bit, but don't worry, I'm not making sure I don't miss anything important. Here is my quick release, right? I'm taking it off my Came Argo, which is a 3-axis gimbal. Again, going to my keys, and I'm going to be loosening up this screw here in the center, just so I can release my quick release plate. Okay, so I'm using my key, loosening up the quick release plate. Alright, once that's done, I'm gonna put my quick release plate up here using one of these awesome knobs. Guys, this thing is worth every penny just by looking at the quality and the workmanship that was put into this. It's hard to believe that this was an idea in somebody's mind because it's such good quality. Anyway, I'm going to use the thicker mounting area right here on the quick release plate and mount it on like that on here. Okay, make sure it's pointing right. I'll do it this way. Actually, yeah, I'll do it this way. And I'll just mount it in. Notice how I'm sliding it off to the edge, the quick release mount, because I have this lever, this tension right here that will not fit any other way. So I'm making sure that this slides off to the end. And I'm making sure it's nice and tight. See, it's already loosening up because this ball head is just so much weight that one screw is not going to be able to hold that down, which is why you want to use a quick release adapter, not a ball head. But eventually I'll be getting that ball head. All right, turn down the heater, it's getting hot. Okay. Next, let's take our camera and mount our camera on it. So I'm removing the quick release plate up here. Okay. And just like any other ordinary quick release plate, I'm just mounting it onto my camera. Nothing new here. Pretty simple, straightforward. Alright, there you go. Lock it up tight. Beautiful. Boom. And that goes up here, just like that. Next, we want to take our shutter release cable. Boom, shutter release cable. This goes into the intervalometer computer right here. Okay. And that goes in here. Cool. Next, we want to hook up the power cables, the motor power cables. I'm just going to unwind this here. These are long cables, which I really like. You never really want to use shorter cables. I always prefer longer than shorter. Put that in here. I'm going to take our next power cable, hook it up as well. It is on the tilt motor, or on the pan motor. Okay. Make sure the cables aren't tangled. That way you know which cable goes to which motor. Okay. I'll lock it up. Alright, next we'll turn on the computer. Press the green button. Boom. So let me show you what this looks like. Do a close-up here. So you set your endpoint, click OK, and this whole thing should start turning. So it's a pretty cool setup. Okay. So that's what that is. And let's turn on everything basically. All right, so set endpoint first. That's what I didn't know. That's what I thought was really weird, was that you actually set the endpoint before you set the start point, which I didn't know. So let's set the endpoint of the pan motor. I'm gonna click OK and hold it. Now I'm gonna set the start point. Click OK. Next, I'm going to hold the M button. And set the start position. I'm going to click OK. Or actually, that was the end position. Oops. What am I doing here? Hold the M button again. Oh wait, hang on. See, this is the part where I get a little confused. This is all programming, so I want to make sure. Oh, it's not set to time lapse, that's why. Okay, so I'm going to change that to time lapse. Okay. You can set how many photos you want to take. I keep the ramp and speed at the middle. Settings, okay, menu. Okay. I need to turn on the other motor. Okay, hold pan. I need to set the end. Okay. I'm going to set the start. Should be down here. And then I'm going to click OK and hold it. And then OK. See how confusing this thing can be? It's just, it's nuts. Set start. Okay. Now it's going to be doing time lapse. It's moving in incremental movements. do a close up here so you guys see what's going on here. Camera's off, so it's not going to be taking any photos, but it's moving in tiny increments. So let me make it more obvious what it's doing. I think I kind of messed up the settings here. I'm still learning how to use this thing. So I'm going to cancel it. Put this over here. I'm going to cancel that. And switch to the pan motor. Set the end point. I'm going to set the start point. I'm going to set the start point for the tilt. See, that's what I don't understand why it's doing that. I'm trying to figure out why it switches back to the pan motor when it should stay on the tilt motor. Okay, now we should be good. And click OK. Interesting. I don't know what it's doing. I have no idea. See, this is where I'm like, what is it doing? I'm still learning how to use it. Huh. Setting endpoint. Okay. Set start point. Okay. I'm so confused. See, this is, I need time to work with this thing. I mean, once I get it, it will be good. There we go, I think it's working now. So I got the pan motor down, but tilt motor I still need to work on how to set the right settings. Check it out. See the incremental moves it's doing? This would actually be a really cool time lapse of the stars. So what's going to happen is the pan motor will be going 360 degrees while the stars are just flying by. So this would actually be a really cool idea for a time lapse. So I'm going to cancel this and see if I can work the tilt motor, because for some weird reason I can't figure out the tilt motor for some apparent reason. I'm gonna cancel this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna switch these motors. I'm gonna turn this off. I might have confused the cables here. So it can get so confusing with this. Only had it for 2 days, so I'm still learning the ropes. But once I get this computer thing down, time lapses will be so easy. So I'm excited. Okay, let's try it again. Woo! Time consuming. I'm just messing with the menu settings. Oh man, it's confusing. Sorry guys if I'm a little quiet, I'm just trying to figure this out. Trying to get to the pan motor. Setting how many photos it should take. Let's do 100. Okay. Pause. Let's make it 3 seconds is ideal for time lapses. Shutter. Oh, I didn't know you can set shutter settings here. But I'd rather just do that on the camera. I think that's safer bet, right? To set the shutter settings on the camera rather than on the computer. Auto speed. Yeah, so there's just so much here. So what I'm gonna do, that's basically how you set up the system. When it comes to programming, that's a whole nother monster. So I'm just gonna try to work this out. I have a lot of free time this week, so that's good. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry if it was a little slow, but that's how you set up a pan and tilt motor head on a tripod. Again, you don't want to be using the ball head directly on top of the tripod because it just makes the system too heavy, too tall, and then it's not as stable as just simply using a quick release plate. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Leave a comment below and let me know what you guys think. All right, take care. Bye-bye.